Hello, in this shiur, we'll try today to deal with the most important subject in the world. And this subject is something that everybody needs, everybody looking for, and every person on earth will do everything, will put all his effort to reach that thing. And if you're going to ask the people, what is this? What is this, the thing that everybody will need so much, everybody are desire for? So you're probably going to think it depends, which means you could ask different places, different people, you could go to different cultures, and each group will tell you something else. For example, you go to the Wall Street, they'll tell you, of course, money is the most important things. You should have a big company and stock market and everything. If you go to the East, they tell you, oh, you have to connect with yourself, with your mind, you have to do a lot of meditation. But everybody will agree on one thing. Everybody will agree that all you need is love. And this is what I want to talk to today, because love is, bemet, all we need. Everybody knows that there was also important man, very famous man, that said so, that all we need is love. But if we're talking about love, and this is the subject that we want to deal now, so I prefer to start from the sources, to open the Chumash in Sefer Bereshit. In the beginning, the first place in the Torah that we found the name, the verb love, is surprising. Adam HaRishon, it doesn't say whether Adam HaRishon loved Chava, Eve, or not. Well, we assume he did, because, he had no many choices, but so probably he loved Chava. But the first time that we see the verb love in the Tanakh is between Yitzchak and Rivka. And it says, Vayivi'ea Yitzchak Aohela, Sarah imo, Vayiahavea. Which means Yitzchak brought Sarah, Rivka, he brought his wife to the tent of his mom, of Sarah, and he loved her. Which means after they got married, first they got married, he brought her to a tent, and then it says that he loved her. But if you want to look for love that we know from the Western world, for example, love from the first sight, love from the before marriage, so we could see it by Yaakov and Rachel Imenu, Yaakov Avinu, Rachel Imenu in Parashat Vayetze. And it's amazing when we see that when Yaakov is meeting Rachel in Haran, and the wheel over there, so it says that Yaakov just saw her and he fell in love with Rachel. And this story is an amazing story. But over there, when Yaakov is speaking to Lavan, to Rachel's father, so the pasuk says something incredible. The pasuk says, "Vayavod Yaakov berachel." 7 shanim. Yaakov worked for Rachel 7 years. Vayu be'einav keyamim achadim, and those 7 years just looks in his eyes. It seems to him like few days. Keyamim achadim. Why? Be'ahavato ota. Because he loved her so much. This is the most high pasuk that we can think about, that speak about love. In this case, love between a man and a woman, between Yaakov and Rachel. And it says that even 7 years of hard work in the summer, in the winter, when it's freezing outside, when it's hot, Yaakov is 7 years like few days, like 1 week. Why? Because he loved Rachel so much. It's an amazing pasuk. But when we looked inside that pasuk, it's look a little bit strange, because if you're going to ask anyone, he will tell you, what do you mean that 7 years seems to him like a few days? Let's imagine somebody is getting married with a lady, and after a couple of weeks he needs to go somewhere for his job, somewhere overseas. And when he's coming back, she asks him, tell me, how was it without me? And he says, what do you mean? It was like a few days, because I went, because you sent me something. If I were that lady or anyone else, we were insulted. What do you mean, few days? Is this pasuk says that Yaakov really loved Rachel? Yes, it said so, but it's not understanding. You can't understand, because I prefer to say in the pasuk that those 7 years look to him like never end, like infinity, because, he's not with her. So if he's not with somebody that you love so much, so long, so it doesn't look that's few days. It looks like never end. So how could it be that the Tanakh says like few days? Let's imagine what's going to happen when Rachel is waking up in the morning and she asks Yaakov Avinu, Yaakov, how was 7 years without me? And Yaakov says, what do you mean? You said the Pasuk says it's just like a few days, no problem, it's okay. I think Rachel is not going to like this Pasuk that says that Yaakov, it was just a few days and that's it. So we need to understand what's the meaning of that love. And maybe the reason that we are asking this question is because our understanding about love is coming from not such a pure sources. Because what do we know about love? Or what somebody in the Western society knows about love? We know about love what we saw in Hollywood, what we read in newspaper, in magazines, and that's it. In English, there's two words. You could say love, you could say also a different word, you could say like. And for example, when somebody's talking to a lady, he says, I love you. But when he's talking to a cake or a schnitzel, he doesn't say love, he says, oh, I like this cake. Now, if he's going to say, I love this schnitzel, wow, okay, so, or that he's speaking in slang, so it's okay. Or this guy is not so straight, because if somebody loves the cake, first of all, he's not going to eat the cake. Because if you love the cake, so you're going to keep it in a nice vitrine, you're going to take a guitar and sing a song. But if you love the cake, you're not going to eat the cake. So why somebody says, I love cheesecake? Because it's not love the cheesecake. He loves himself, and only himself. He cares only about himself. He's crazy after the taste of the cheesecake. So he says, I love the cake. But he means, I love myself. So why is not saying, oh, I love myself, so I will eat the cake? Because, it's not so, it's not respectable to say, I love yourself. And just imagine a movie. Let's take a Hollywood as an example. And imagine couples are meeting. He sees her eyes, she looks in his face, and then he says to her, oh, I love you. And she's answer, I love you too. And, it's a wonderful movie. Everybody's going so happy after the movie. But let's think in a different scene. Let's think that he's looking in her face and he says, oh, I love myself so much. And she says, I love myself too. There's no case for a movie, Two egoists met together and now everybody tells to other how he loves himself. But actually, if you're going to think, when he says, I love you, what he means? He means he really cares about her? Of course not. He loves himself. He loves how she looks. He loves maybe how she talks. He loves, she has a good joke, she has a sense of humor, she's smart, she's wise, she has a lot of money, So he says, I love you, because he can't say the truth. And maybe this is what Yaakov Avinu in the Torah came to teach us. In the first time, when we see a true love between a man and a woman, between the holy Yaakov Avinu and Rachel Imenu. It says, Vayavod Yaakov berachel 7 shanim. Yaakov worked 7 years, and it looks to himself like a few days. You know why? The pasuk ended because be'ahavato ota, because he loved her. Of course he loved her. What do you mean, his sister? Of course her. No, it's not of course. It's not obvious, because maybe he loved himself. So the Torah says no. Be'avato ota, Yaakov really loved Rachel and not himself. And this is why those 7 years looks to him like a few days. Because he understood this is what she wants. If this is what you want, which means this is what the family or her father, because this is what they want, this is what the custom of that village. So if this is what you want, so no problem. So that moment, like a few days. And we're going to see afterwards when Lavan is cheating Yaakov and switch the sisters, and he got LYA, and then Yaakov is working again 7 years. Now he knows it's against Rachel's will. So at that moment, the Torah will say that those 7 years looks to him exactly like we thought in the beginning. It's going to say, Yaakov is going to say, Bayom achalani chorev vekirach balayla. I was so hot in the day and freeze at night. Why? Because in the study, Lavan is cheating him, Rachel as well. But in the beginning, it's pure love. When it's pure love, when you love somebody, you really care about him and not about yourself. It's not means that you need to think about yourself, of course. But the matter of fact is to understand how much percent you love yourself in that connection and how much you really care about somebody else. And by the way, this is not this is not just about a love between a man and a woman. It's also about relationship between Hashem, between God and us. Somebody will say, oh, I love Hashem so much. You do? What's going to happen when He's doing something not expected? Something that it's against your way of thinking or way of life? What's He going to say then? You still going to love Hashem or not? Somebody's going to say, I love my parents. Okay? Do you really love your parents? Or, they support you, they raise you, they love you, so they give you so much, you can't. But what's going to happen if you're going to ask something and your parent says, no way. You want the car, and your father says, no way, you're not going to get my car, never. If you're going to say, whoa, what do you mean? Okay, you're going to do a demonstration, huh? So you love yourself, mostly. But if you're going to say, Abba, listen, it's your car, I love you so much, do whatever you want. You're my dad, I love you, give him a hug and a kiss, great. So you really love your father. But if the only matter of love is what you get, so this is not love. And by the way, in Hebrew, those who know good Hebrew, you could see the word ahava. Ahava is a special word in Hebrew, love. Ahava is a word made from two words. A, which is not, like in Latin we say apolitic, for example, not politic. So a is not. Hava means give. Give me. Hava. I want to take. This is what the word ahava means, which means hava means I don't want to take from you nothing. Don't give me, because I just want to give you, so I will not take from you. And this is what love is all about. Thank you very much for your attention, and we're going to meet next time. Toda rabba. להתראות.